The United States and United Kingdom have announced bans on Russian oil imports, toughening the toll on Russia's economy in retaliation for its invasion of Ukraine. Key points: Joe Biden said Americans would see a hike in petrol prices because of the oil ban. Joe Biden said Americans would see a hike in petrol prices because of the oil ban. The UK will phase out imports of Russian oil by the end of 2022. The UK will phase out imports of Russian oil by the end of 2022. The European Union is also moving to cut its dependency on Russia for energy. It was not immediately clear on what date the US ban would commence. The European Union also published plans on Wednesday to phase out its reliance on Russia for energy needs as soon as possible. The moves follow pleas by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to US and Western officials to cut off the imports, which had been an omission in the massive sanctions imposed on Russia over the invasion. Energy exports have kept a steady stream of cash flowing to Russian President Vladimir Putin's regime despite otherwise severe restrictions on its financial sector. Making an address from the White House, US President Joe Biden warned that Americans would see a rise in petrol prices due to the ban, saying defending freedom is going to cost. "We will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war," Mr. Biden said. Joe Biden says petrol prices in the US will rise due to the ban. Mr. Biden has been working with allies in Europe, who are far more dependent on Russian oil and gas, to isolate Mr. Putin and Russia's energy-heavy economy. Natural gas from Russia accounts for 40% of Europe's consumption of the fossil fuel. The US does not import Russian natural gas. Even before the US ban, energy giant Shell said it would stop buying Russian oil and natural gas and shut down its operations in the country. Loading. Mr. Biden also used his speech to praise Ukrainians for their resilience in protecting their country during the invasion. "Putin may be able to take a city, but he will never be able to hold the country," Mr. Biden said. The Ukrainian people have demonstrated by their physical courage that they are not about to just let Putin take what he wants, that's clear. They will defend their freedom, their democracy, their lives. When the history of this war is written, Putin's war on Ukraine will have left Russia weaker and the rest of the world stronger. Britain to phase out imports. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the UK would phase out imports of Russian oil and oil products by the end of 2022. In another economic blow to the Putin regime following their illegal invasion of Ukraine, the UK will move away from dependence on Russian oil throughout this year, Mr. Johnson said in a statement. "Working with industry, we are confident that this can be achieved over the course of the year, providing enough time for companies to adjust and ensuring consumers are protected." Loading. Business Minister Kwasi Kwarteng called on businesses to use the rest of this year to ensure a smooth transition, and said the government would set up a task force to work with firms to find alternative suppliers. This transition will give the market, businesses and supply chains more than enough time to replace Russian imports, which make up 8% of UK demand, Mr. Kwarteng said. He also said he was exploring options to end British imports of Russian gas, which accounts for about 4% of supply in the country. EU to cut dependency on Russia. The European Commission published plans on Tuesday to cut EU dependency on Russian gas by 2/3 this year and end its reliance on Russian supplies of the fuel well before 2030. The European Union executive said it would switch to alternative supplies and expand clean energy faster under the plans, which national governments would be largely responsible for implementing. The EU is much more dependent on Russia for its energy supply than the US. The Commission said gas and liquefied natural gas from countries like the United States and Qatar could this year replace more than 1/3 of the gas Europe got annually from Russia. Gas flows to Europe have so far been steady since the invasion, which Russia calls a special military operation. AP